Alright everybody, welcome to my first Q&A. Yes, I put it to you guys on YouTube in the community channel. I'm going to try and answer as many as I possibly can, the ones that are good enough to answer, because some of them are kind of silly because I can't talk about certain things. But yes, I might be doing this on a regular, I'm doing a few Q&As, I might get a few players involved next time, but I'm literally just chilling in my backyard. Got a GoPro up there, and I got the GoPro here. Shout out to GoPro ANZ for looking after me. But yes, I'm going to be doing a Q&A right now, so I'm going to get stuck right into it. First question is from Tobias, or Tobias. What advice would you give to a player that's not in any program like NAB League, etc., but have goals of playing AFL and VFL? Well, Tobias, first of all, you got to make sure that you love the sport, because it's always going to be very, very hard to get into. For myself, I got chosen for a lot of the underage rep teams, but my commitment and my dedication was definitely not there. So I didn't really want to do any of that. I went to Adelaide after I got kind of kicked out of home when I was 17 and lived with my sister in Adelaide. Played 1 year up there to get me on the straight and narrow, and it was very, very good for me. So my advice is to make sure you're very fit. You want to play AFL because it's a lot of dedication. You do lose a lot of your livelihood and stuff, but it's definitely worth it if you love the sport. So make sure you love it, be good on both feet, and be able to run, because they love athletes these days, that's for sure. They do love athletes. Alright, second question, thanks for that Tobias. Second question is from Alistair. Which current player from another team do you wish played for your team? Has to be as they are now, not just in their prime. Well, my favourite player in the AFL is Michael Walters. I love watching him play, I love what he does. He's one of my good mates as well, so I'd love that fact that we can play together, because I played a lot of footy against him. And I know what he can do when he's playing his best footy, so probably not having his best year right now, but he is definitely one of the best small forwards in the comp when he's up and going. So yeah, definitely be Michael Walters. That's as a small forward. As a tall forward, I wouldn't mind playing with Charlie Curnow. Obviously played a lot of footy with his brother, so Mr. Ed Curnow. So I know that he's a very good bloke, great athlete, and he's playing some of the best footy I've seen him play his whole career. Now he's fit and healthy. So, all right, third question: who is/has been the toughest player you have played against? This is from Norm Jones, and love your videos. Congratulations on the new addition to your family. Thanks, Norm Jones. Probably my toughest player, and I'll just go through my tagging days, because we probably don't really plan anyone anymore unless you're, a key defender or key forward. Everyone else kind of just rotates and runs around, does what they want. But in my tagging days, my favourite job was to play on Gary Ablett Jr. I had a few good battles with him in 2015, 16, those years. So he's definitely one of the players that I'll say that I love to play on, because he's just so good at footy, always takes to the footy. And he's one of the legends, and he's one of the GOATs of AFL. So I was very, very humbled to be able to say I played on that great player. At the moment, probably Ed Langdon as a winger, because I'm playing that stupid wing role. I'd say that he's the hardest I played on. Last year in the final, he just did not stop bloody running, man. He's a freak. I usually pride myself on being able to run with those guys just on gut running alone, but he was getting up on the ground like I've never seen before. So at the moment, as a winger, Ed Langdon's probably the hardest player to play on. And to be honest, if I'm playing this week, it'll probably be him I'll be playing on, so it's gonna be round 2, baby. From Black Pie. Who was someone you idolised growing up, and what team do you support? I was a massive Brett Kirk fan. We're gonna work with our bodies, our mind, and everything. But since I started really caring about footy, I went for Sydney Swans, because obviously in Tasmania we don't have a team to support. So my mum and dad babysat Darren Creswell, so I fell in love with him and his tough footy, and obviously the Swannies. So I used to love watching them play off in the grand finals against West Coast. They were some of the best games I've seen to date, and footy's definitely changed now, but it was Sydney Swans, and Darren Creswell was my idol. And Brett Kirk. Even his commentary. From Brock Russell, how strict is your diet? Is it chosen by players individually, club nutritionist, or your own nutritionist? What's up, Brock Russell? We do have a club nutritionist, and you kind of just pick up along the way since you've been playing footy. I remember my first interview I had when we played North Melbourne in a NAB Cup game, whatever it was, like my first real proper game. And I told the media that I had a steak before the game, and our club dietitian was like, "What the fuck are you eating that before a game? It's just going to sit in your body. It's not good for you." So I had to learn pretty quick that those kind of food and stuff isn't great for you before games. So I was obviously the pasta and everything they do now with it, and all the diets and stuff. But we do have a diet. It's kind of what works for you. A lot of the players, especially young ones, don't really know what works for them. So using a system, you're kind of used to it. But my partner Emma, she's an amazing cook. And I just do like, meat twice a week, make sure I get some fish in there during the week, like healthier snacks, not like chocolate and all that junk food shit. But yeah, a lot of carbs because we burn a lot of energy, and just my favorite snack's beef jerky, to be honest, so that's pretty good for you. After the game, I go to Macca's every time unless we're traveling. I get a large Big Mac meal, 2 extra cheeseburgers. And what else do I get? Oh, I get a sparkling water. So that's my junk food for the week. That once off. But yeah, it's just what works for you really. You don't have to go too balls out with it. From Piglin Prince, what is the toughest moment mentally you have gone through as your AFL player? To be honest, the year I had with Mick Malthouse was obviously very hard. The year I got cut, 2014. But this year's been probably the mentally toughest year for me. Obviously doing my car early in the year, or playing through some car stuff and tearing it and not being able to get back in the team was really tough. Obviously my ego took a bit of a kick to the nutsack, but went back to the VFL, kind of had a good chat with my brothers and Emma and my family and stuff, and I was close to hanging them up, but we got through that little period in life, and that was probably the toughest moment of my career. But it's also, gives me much more appreciation for football, because I was kind of like, oh, it's footy, it'll always be here, but when you go on, it gets taken away from you, you get dropped a little bit there, like not dropped, but you can't get your spot back. It kind of put into perspective for me. So silver linings, man, silver linings. But yeah, that's probably the toughest. This year's probably been the toughest since my time being in Brisbane. Huonbine, I can't really pronounce the name, Huonburn Ockerby. What are your thoughts on the potentially being a Tasmanian team in the future? Fellow Tasmanian here. What's up, Huon? Do you live in Huonville or no? But I've been a massive advocate for a team in Tassie since fucking I started playing AFL. You know what? All these ads showing all these Tassie footy players, I haven't been in one. I've got a Tassie map on my arm. I've got a Tassie Devil, Tassie Tiger. I haven't been asked to be in one advert yet. So whoever's in control of those, that's for you, whoever's doing those. But yes, I do think we deserve a team. Obviously, we've been in the system like the longest out of any states or footy clubs. I think Tassie's got like one in the late 1800s. So this is one of those things how if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense to the AFL. Obviously, Sydney and like New South Wales and Queensland have got more population that don't follow footy. Every Tasmanian already watches football, so they're not going to make any money there. Yes, I do think we deserve to have a team. Will it happen? Not in my playing days, but fingers crossed. If I do get a team, I'll be down there in a heartbeat trying to help out, doing whatever I can do. So you'd think so, but I won't hold my breath. From Jacko, what's your most memorable sporting moment, good or bad? Probably 2 Richmond games. When I was at the Blues, elimination final against Richmond, when I punched the ball over the line like this. Did that, and I went over on the full, and they got a free kick goal out of the fucking goal square. I literally saw my career flash before my eyes. And then reversed it, like 5 minutes later, I went down the other and kicked a goal and put us in front. So that was at my Blues days. Up here is obviously the final against Richmond that we won not long ago. Because we had a couple good battles with the old Tiger boys. And that was very, very fulfilling for the club, because we hadn't won a final for a while. So just winning that game put a lot of belief in the club and the boys and coaching staff and stuff. So that was a massive win for us. Unfortunately, lost against Geelong in the prelim, but hopefully this year's bigger and better. But yeah, those are probably the 2 games. From On The Ball, what do you love and hate most about AFL life? This is all off the top of my dome. I'm mentioning this question. So what do I hate and love? I love that I can provide for my family, and I haven't really worried about finances in 14 years of my career, so I haven't worried about anything like that. Obviously, players can lose money in a heartbeat, but I've had a good management group and stuff, and that's probably the only thing that I can really think on top of my head. Obviously, being able to have a great job is something that I love doing. Love playing the footy on the weekends. Being able to run out in front of a crowd and get that feeling, that winning feeling, especially when you get those close games, or you get in a final, you got 30,000+ at the Gabba just screaming when it's fucking electrifying. Like, it's the best feeling. The best thing I think I'll miss when I finish is the change room chat. It's the best. It's honestly some of the shit that we do, like, you just think no other organisation, no other desk job or it can do what we're doing right now, like just having fun every day, playing a sport that we love. That's just like the dream right there. So it's definitely going to be a shock when we finish up and go to another job. But probably the worst thing is, I guess you can see the Jordan De Goey stuff going on right at the moment, the media. That's something that I absolutely hate. in the AFL. And that's sporting in general, but like they just get it wrong so many times, and no one's held accountable for some of the shit they put out in the media. So the media is one of the biggest things I don't like in footy today. And I really want to get involved in the media post-footy, so hopefully I can change a little bit of that perception when I get in the media. But yeah, that's probably the two things I don't like, and the things I do like. Oh, and obviously fucking pre-season. It's the hardest thing in the world, and I'm not just saying this because I play it, but we have the hardest pre-season in any sports in the world. Unless like you're a boxer or UFC fighter or some shit, but ball-wise, we do for sure. From Alistair, I think I've seen him already. How much of a heads up do players get that a player is being traded in or out of the team before their trade period? It's a tough question to answer because I've never really been through that, but from knowing a lot of players and what they go through, a lot of players talk to other teams during the year. The manager does the grunt work, but the players give the green light to go talking to other teams, setting up catch-up. So if we had a 4-day break, I'm in no illusions that some players would have gone caught up with some clubs, vice versa. But the players on the wanting to be traded end know pretty early on what's going to be happening, and if it can work, and if you fit in the systems, they've got salary cap issues or whatever it may be. On the flip side, if a team wants to trade you and you have years on your contract, that'll happen literally just straight for the last game. Like say if Brisbane finish in a final, whatever final it is, that week you have your exit reviews, catch up with the coaches and all that stuff. You'll get talked about, like, do you fit in this team? Would you like to get traded? All that kind of stuff. They'll bring it to you. So it usually happens that week. So after the last game of the year your team plays in, that's when you start hearing about trades and what that looks like. So that's when it usually goes down. But for players who want to get traded, they know very early on. David Wright, favourite stadium to play footy? My favourite stadium is obviously the Gabba at the moment because it's just the ground we train at all the time up here. We get the best crowd here, and it's just really nice. Like, I just love it playing at Gabba. But outside of there, it would be MCG, the home of footy. It's the best stadium in the world, playing surface-wise, grandstand surface standard-wise. But the best stadium, not including the ground because the ground sucks, the best stadium is Optus Stadium for sure, Optus Oval, whatever it's called, in Perth. It is amazing, like the facilities there, what they can do with the lighting systems, like just how to look over you, it's really good. So I love Optus Stadium for sure. That's one of the best stadiums that I've ever played at, but the surface of the ground sucks. It's like Etihad. It's just so slippery underfoot. It's like real wet. I don't know if it's because of shade, but it's always slippery. What else we got here? I think that's about it. Hopefully you guys like this. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. This is for Up and About because I'm up and about at the moment. We got Melbourne Thursday night game. It's going to be fucking good outing. Top of the ladder clash. We do owe them. Obviously they beat us in the final last year and the mid-season game as well. So it's going to be very, very entertaining. I'm sure about that. So hopefully we can get the W on Thursday night, and then we got Bulldogs next Thursday. So a couple of big games coming up. But so hopefully you guys enjoyed that little Q&A. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. I'll do a couple more of these. This is called Up and About because I'm up and about at the moment. I really enjoyed some of the questions I got in there. Some were pretty stupid, but appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, and if you're not already, subscribe. It's not hard. It takes 1 second. You got to hit that like button, and I love you. See you soon.